In the quiet estate of Kubwa, on the outskirts of Abuja, two girls were born as neighbors, only 3 days apart. Their houses stood side by side like mismatched siblings, one a sprawling duplex with marble floors and electric gates that hummed as they opened, and the other a modest bungalow painted pale yellow, where flower pots lined the veranda and the smell of fried plantain often drifted into the street. Kayamika Okoye lived in the mansion. She was the only daughter of Chief and Madam Okoye, a wealthy business couple who seemed always to be flying somewhere, Dubai today, London tomorrow. Her nursery had imported toys, her school bag bore the Gucci logo, and her shoes always gleamed. Adana Chukudi lived in the bungalow. Her father was a civil servant in the Ministry of Works, her mother a school teacher. They were not rich, but they were present, always asking about her day, reading bedtime stories in Igbo, teaching her proverbs like treasures passed from ancestors. Though their homes stood on opposite ends of wealth, the girls became inseparable from the age of 5. They played 10-10 on the dusty road, fetched water together from the estate borehole, and walked to Queensfield International School in matching cornrows. Everyone called them the twins of Kubwa, though they didn't look alike. Kayamika was light-skinned, with eyes like pools of honey, while Adana was dark and radiant like polished ebony. But beneath the surface, cracks were already forming. While Adana grew in the warmth of daily affection, Kayamika's home echoed with silence. Her parents' love was packaged in boxes of foreign clothes, not hugs. She often lingered at Adana's gate after dinner just to hear laughter from inside, as though soaking warmth through her skin. One day, as they walked to school, Kayamika blurted, "Ada, do you know I wish I could be you sometimes?" Adana stopped. "Me? But you have everything." Kayamika smiled sadly. "Not everything." By secondary school, their differences became stark. At Regina Paces College in central Abuja, Adana was a quiet star. She topped her classes, spoke gently, and helped struggling classmates. Teachers adored her diligence. Even the stern vice principal once said, "Adana will go far." She carries the spirit of an eagle. Kayamika, on the other hand, was dazzling but distracted. She passed her exams, sometimes even scored high, but she didn't care much. She loved parties, selfies, and the attention of boys from neighboring schools. Whenever teachers praised Adana, a sharp egg bloomed behind her smile. At home, Adana's parents guided her like careful gardeners, teaching her to cook, to pray, to save money in a small clay piggy bank. Kayamika's parents sent her credit alerts and emojis from distant airports. They rarely attended her school events. She wore designer perfumes to class, yet sometimes sat alone during lunch, scrolling through her phone. In their final year, Adana graduated as head girl and best student, earning a scholarship to University of Abuja. Kayamika scraped through with fair grades and was sent to Babcock University through her father's influence. At the graduation ceremony, Adana's parents danced barefoot on the lawn, their pride loud as talking drums. Kayamika clapped politely, her smile tight. Inside, a whisper hissed. Why does everyone love her? Why not me? University stretched them apart. Adana studied accounting at the University of Abuja. She shared a small off-campus flat with 2 other girls, survived on gari and groundnuts when money ran low, and still topped her class. Her parents visited during semester breaks, bringing coolers of soup and prayers. Kayamika studied mass communication at Babcock University. She had a private room with an air conditioner, new phones every year, and weekend getaways at luxury resorts. But she floated through classes like a leaf on calm water, admired yet unanchored. When loneliness beat, she called Adana late at night, crying softly. Adana always comforted her, even when she herself was hungry or exhausted. For years passed. Adana graduated with first-class honors and secured an internship at a top accounting firm in Abuja. She began sending part of her stipend to her parents, who wept and prayed blessings over her name. Kayamika graduated without honors. Her father pulled strings to get her a PR job at a luxury brand firm in Lagos. She wore Louis Vuitton heels to work, drove a new Mercedes-Benz GLA, and spent evenings in rooftop bars. Yet, whenever she scrolled through social media and saw Adana holding plaques and certificates, a hot shadow coiled inside her chest. By their mid-20s, both girls had returned to Abuja, Kiamaka through her father's company transfer, Adana through promotion. Adana rented a small apartment in Gorimpa, decorated with raffia mats, clay pots, and framed proverbs. She lived simply, worked hard, and every month sent something home. Her parents boasted of her at village meetings. Our Ada is a jewel among stones. Kiamaka rented a luxurious flat in Maitama, filled with glass tables and designer furniture. She earned 3 times Adana's salary yet saved nothing, always chasing the next party, the next fashion trend, the next fleeting thrill. Whenever Adana shared good news, an appraisal, a new certification, she did it with genuine excitement. Kiamaka would smile thinly and say, "That's cute. But my bonus this month could buy a car." Adana laughed it off, never noticing the bitterness beneath. One evening, Adana invited Kiamaka to her apartment to celebrate her promotion. She had cooked jollof rice, suya, and peppered snails. The room was filled with friends and laughter. Kiamaka sat stiffly, sipping her wine, watching Adana glow in the center like a lantern. For the first time, the envy in her eyes was naked, sharp as a blade. Not long after, Adana got engaged to Obinna Nwosu, a brilliant young entrepreneur known in Abuja social circles. He adored her humility and her mind. When Adana told Kiamaka the news, she expected squeals and hugs. Instead, Kiamaka said coldly, "Wow. I just hope you're ready for that kind of life. Big men are not easy." Adana laughed awkwardly, thinking it was just shock. But Kiamaka's eyes were like steel glass hiding deep waters. As Adana's wedding plans bloomed, Kiamaka grew distant. She began subtly mocking her behind her back, hinting that Adana had used desperation to trap a rich man. She even spread quiet rumors at work that Adana had changed and become proud. One evening, Adana overheard 2 colleagues whispering. Kiamaka said Adana is pretending, acting humble so she can marry rich. The words struck her like hot oil on skin. That night, she lay awake, heart twisting. Memories replayed, Kiamaka's thin smiles, her cutting remarks, her cold eyes during the promotion party. And suddenly, everything clicked. All those years, while Adana struggled to climb, Kiamaka had been secretly resenting every step she took. Adana tried one last time to talk. She invited Kiamaka for lunch at a quiet cafe in Wustu. "Chai," she said softly, "I feel like we've grown apart. I don't know what's happening, but I don't want to lose our friendship." Kiamaka smiled without warmth. "Maybe you've just outgrown me. You always were the golden one." Something broke inside Adana at those words, not anger, just sorrow. She realized then, Kiamaka didn't want friendship. She wanted competition. So Adana stood, placed cash on the table, and said gently, "I never wanted to be above you. I only wanted us to rise together. But if my light hurts your eyes, I will walk where it doesn't reach you." And she walked away. That night, she blocked Kiamaka's number. She deleted old photos of them laughing under the pawpaw tree. She mourned it like a death. Because in truth, it was. Months passed. Adana's wedding was small but beautiful. Her parents beamed with pride as she walked down the aisle at a church in Asakoro, her smile soft but sure. Obinna looked at her as though she hung the sun. Kiamaka watched the photos on social media from her penthouse, wine glass trembling in her hand. Around her were scattered designer clothes, glittering jewelry, and invitations to parties, yet she had never felt so hollow. That night, she scrolled back through years of old pictures, 2 little girls in matching cornrows, laughing on a dusty Kubwa street. And for the first time, she wept. Not because she had lost a friend, but because she had lost herself to envy. Adana, meanwhile, built a home rich not in gold but in peace. She rose higher in her career, started a small foundation for underprivileged girls, and visited her parents every weekend with food and laughter. She never spoke Kayamika's name again. In the estates of Abuja, the story of the two girls became a quiet parable. Parents told their daughters, "The moon may shine brighter, but the firefly glows where it matters. Envy turns friends to shadows. Celebrate others, or you will fade while they rise." And so it was said. Onyu enwegi obi noim komodu bo also enefio. A mouth without a heart makes a person run in vain.